Yes, good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the types of instructions, right? The types of instructions based on the number of address fields the instruction has. And in this class, we learn about addressing modes. Addressing modes define the way the address is specified in the instruction format. Okay, we know that the instruction format there are three fields in instruction format, right? One is opcode and the mode field and address field. Now we are learning about the address field of the instruction. Okay, the mode field defines the way the address is given in the address field. So addressing mode specifies a rule for interpreting or modifying the address field of the instruction before the operand is actually referenced. So this address, the address field, it generally specifies the operand, the data on which we are going to perform the operation. So to find the operand, to locate the operand, and we also learned that the operand may be placed in the memory, one of the memory location, or it may be stored in the registers. Okay, one of the CPU registers. Okay, and we also in the last class we discussed that the address field, the number of address field may differ. The instruction may have 0 address fields. Okay, only the operation without the address field. So that is 0 address instructions. And sometimes there may be one instruction. No, sorry, one address field in the instruction. And the other addresses, the second address is the the operand is stored in the accumulator. It is assumed in that case that when there is one address field, we assume that the operand is in the accumulator. Okay, the other operand for computational instructions, we need two operands. So the second operand is in accumulator. Okay, and we also have sometimes two address fields or three address fields. Okay, that in this two and three address fields, the address may be the address of the register or it may be the address of the memory location where the operand is stored. So here it specifies rule for interpreting or modifying the address field of the instruction before the operand is actually referenced. Okay, before locating the operand, the address need to be modified. Okay, in some cases the address will be directly the address of the operand, and in some cases it may not be the direct address. So that case we need to do some computation before referring the operand. The mode field is used to locate the operands needed for the operation. Okay, so the field in the instruction format we use to specify the type of address given, okay, is mode field, using which we locate the operand. We compute the actual address. Okay, we need to, as I said, we need to find the actual address in some cases. We need to compute the address of the operand. And we know that there may or may not be an address field. If there is an address field, it may designate a memory address or a processor register. The instruction may have more than one addressing field, and each addressing field may be associated with its own particular addressing mode. Okay, the instruction format, what we know is the mode field, and then comes the opcode field, and then the address field, right? This is the address of the operand, and here is the operation, okay, that is decoded, and M is the mode that specifies the type of the address used. So with this field, okay, this helps us to understand if the address in the address field is the actual address of the operand or it is to be calculated. And when there is a single address, we will have a single mode field like this. And when we may have more than one address field. In such cases, every address field need to be associated with a mode field. And we are going to learn about these addressing modes here. Okay, we'll discuss the first few types of addressing modes here and the rest in the next class. Okay, here there are two modes that need no address field at all, the implied mode and immediate mode. Okay, these two modes does not need a address. So let's see what is this implied mode. Implied mode is, in this mode, the operands are specified implicitly in the definition of the instruction. Okay, here is an example, CMA. Okay, here we don't have to give the address explicitly in this mode. It is called implied mode. Okay, implied mode is, we need to understand that the operand is implicitly specified. Okay, so it is the CMA, this instruction is to complement accumulator. So the register that is implicitly specified here is the accumulator. Okay, the meaning of this instruction is complement the content of accumulator. Okay, so here we don't need to specify we don't need to write AC here. Okay, it is understood that when there is a zero address mode, we also have discussed in the last class when when the CPU organization is a stack organization. Okay, in stack organization, the instruction add. Okay, as we are now storing the data in the stack. In that case, when add is given, it is understood that okay, there is no need of giving any address here. Okay, the computer automatically understands that it is to perform addition on the top two elements of the stack. Same way, okay, here address of the operand is implicitly specified. Okay, CMA is perform complement on accumulator, on the content of accumulator. We don't have to explicitly write this. So it is called implicit or implied mode. Okay, and other instructions such as CLA. This is to clear the accumulator. And we also have all the instructions we learned in register reference instructions. You remember in the the earlier chapter, we learned about the set of instructions available in a basic computer. Okay, the memory reference instructions, the instructions that refers the memory, where the operand is stored in memory, register reference instructions and IO instructions. And these are all register reference instructions, okay, where the operand is in register. Okay, and here in this case, CMA, the instruction specifies that the operand is in accumulator. Okay, CLA. Okay, the operation is to clear the content of accumulator. So this case of, in this mode, addressing mode, the advantage is there is no memory reference here. Is if it is move R1, R2. Okay, register R2, content of register R2 need to be moved to R1. So here two references, right? This is R2 has to be located first and the data need to be accessed and it has to be moved to R1. So here we need to access the registers. And if suppose the instruction is move R1, X, where X is the memory location. Okay, if X is a memory location here we need to access the memory first. Okay, and then the data at this particular location is moved to register R1. So the time taken here, okay, in these kind of instructions, the instruction may have 2 or 3 address or 1 address. Okay, but when there is a memory access or register access, there is register access anyway is there, even when there is no address. Okay, here accumulator is accessed, which is there inside the CPU only. Okay, even when you compare these two instructions, what I wrote here, move R1, R2, move R1, X. Okay, the most time taking instruction is move R1, X because here is a memory access. Okay, in the computer, among all the process, memory access, okay, accessing the data from the memory is the most time taking process. And if the data is in registers, it takes less time. Okay, registers are inside the CPU only. So here in this implied mode, no, if you compare it with other addressing modes, the instruction cycle time is less. What is instruction cycle time? instruction cycle time is. We know what is instruction cycle, right? Instruction cycle is the set of operations, the series of operations done to complete one instruction, to execute one instruction. The series of processes that are done to execute a single instruction is called instruction cycle. What all the series of process when one instruction is given to the computer, the series of process are the control has to first fetch the instruction from the memory, right? That is the first process. Okay, fetch the instruction. So IR, okay, will get the instruction from the memory, the content of PC, right? The location that is pointed by PC is the instruction that is need to be fetched. So memory word at that particular location is moved to IR. This is the first process, fetching the instruction. Once the instruction is available in IR, the second process is decoding the instruction. Okay, the instruction may have different components. It has different fields, mode field, opcode that specifies the operation, and address field that specifies the address of the operand. So it need to be split, right? It need to be stored. So what we do, the mode field, that is from the instruction register, the 15th field, okay, it is a 16-bit instruction. So the 15th field specifies 0 to 15. Okay, so the 15th bit specifies the mode. Okay, we store it in one flag, okay, one register I, and that is splitting this is decoding phase. Okay, and this is the mode field, and the second field is opcode field, bit from 12 to 14, right? So IR of from the instruction register, take bit 12 to 14, and this need to be decoded. Okay, this has to pass through the decoder, and the decoder decodes and find the meaning of it. Okay, what is the operation to be performed? It may be finally the result of the decoder says if it is add. Okay, we learned it is D0 to D7 as the output of the decoder. That represents one of the operations such as addition, subtraction, or whatever. And the third part of the instruction register is from bit 0 to, in case of memory address, okay, this 12 bits need to be stored in the address register, right? From the instruction register, we take these 12 bits 0 to 12 and move it to address register, because this is the address of the operand using which we can locate the operand to perform this given operation. The total time taken for, and here it is not done. This is the second phase. And the third phase is find the effective address, right? Okay, in case if it is a direct, if the mode, if the I bit is 1, okay, it means if I bit is 0 means it is direct address. What we have in AR here is the address. If I is 1, then it is not a direct address, it is the address is indirect. So we need to find the effective address. There is a computational process here to get the effective address. Okay, so here the third phase is find the effective address in case if the addressing mode is indirect. Correct? And once the address of the operand is found, okay, even in case of indirect address, the effective address of the operand is known. The final phase, the last process is execution, execute the instruction. Okay, so these are all the phases. We learned about this. So here, these are all the different processes involved that are involved in the instruction cycle. The total time taken to complete this entire 4 operations, fetching the instruction, dividing the parts of the instruction code, and decoding the operation, okay, all these, the decode phase, and then finding the effective address and to execute the instruction. Okay, the total time taken is the instruction cycle time. Here in implied mode, as there is no address field here, Okay, there is no memory access here. Okay, that is the advantage. Everything is done in the accumulator, in the operand that is stored in the accumulator. The instruction cycle time is less here. Second one is immediate mode. Okay, immediate mode is, in this mode, the operand is specified in the instruction itself. There is no address here. Okay. Yeah, an immediate mode instruction has an operand field rather than an address field. The operand is directly given. We don't need to locate the operand. There is no memory access needed here also. Okay, this so for example, let's come to this example later. Let's take an example. Load. If I write load hash 20. Okay, this hash specifies. This is to differentiate the operand from the address. When we give operands directly in some formats, this hash is used. Okay, as this is the operand. And here this 20 means it is not the address. Generally, when we write load X, the meaning of this is load in memory. We will have a location X where some data is stored. Okay, let's say 20 is stored in this. So the meaning of this instruction is load the content of memory at location X, that is 20, okay, into accumulator. So in accumulator, once this instruction is completed, okay, executed, we will have the data 20 in the accumulator. That is loading the content of memory into accumulator. But here what is given in the address field is the address of the data. Okay, whereas in this instruction, load hash 20, okay, here 20 is the data. We don't need to locate the data. It is directly given in the operand is directly given in the instruction. Okay, this type of addressing we call immediate addressing. Okay, here it is directly, the operand is directly given. And another example, move. Okay, this MOV instruction is to move R1 hash 20. Okay, means move the, generally if we write the instruction move R1 comma R2, it moves the content of R2 to R1. Okay, this R2 is the register, location of the register R2. It has to be located and the operand need to be moved. Okay, in register R2, we have 20 and register R1. Okay, so after the execution of this instruction, this gets moved to R1. And instead of giving R2, okay, here we give directly the data. Okay, so in this case, after execution of this instruction, we will have this 20 moved, okay, the data directly here given, okay, 20 moved to register R1. So what is the advantage of this immediate mode? It is useful for initializing registers to a constant value. Okay, when we want to set some value, okay, to registers, initially to set the values of the registers, we can use this instruction. Using this addressing mode, we can set the values. We don't give the address of the operand here. We give the operand directly so that, okay, the registers can be initialized with a value. And the next addressing mode is register mode. Okay, in the earlier two modes we have discussed, implied and immediate mode does not need any address. And now the other modes are register mode. Okay, the first one is register mode. In register mode, it is easy to understand. The operands are in registers, okay, that reside within the CPU. The operand may be from this address specified in the addressing field, correct? It may be the address of the memory or address of the register. When the address is the address of the register, we call it as register mode. Okay, so here there is no memory reference required to fetch the operand. Okay, as it takes less time compared to other memory reference instructions. The time taken, okay, the instruction cycle time would be less here because the operands are the operands are stored in registers that reside within the CPU. Okay, so the access time will be less than accessing data from memory. There is no memory reference required here. Okay, this type of instructions. The address field contains the address of the registers only. We call it as register mode. So what is effective address? Before moving to the next type, okay, we have learned about implied mode, immediate mode. These modes does not need any address field. And before moving to the other, before learning about the other addressing modes, we need to know what is an effective address. The effective address is defined to be the memory address obtained from the computation dictated by the given addressing mode. Okay, the addressing mode specifies what is the way the address is represented in the address field. So depending on that, we need to do some computation to find the actual address of the operand. Okay, as I said, the address in the given in the address field of the instruction may not be the actual location of the operand. Okay, there are cases we need to find the actual address. Okay, so when we find the address of the operand, okay, we call that address the location where the operand is stored, the actual location, the final location. Okay, that is effective address. So effective addresses, in simple terms, it is the address of the operand. Okay, there is a data 20 and 20 is stored in memory in some location. Okay, and we say that the address is some S200. It is named as X. At location 200, we have 20. Okay, so what is the effective address? Effective address is this 200. In the instruction, okay, when we say load X, okay, for writing the program, we use the name of this particular data, okay, that is X. But internally what it means? The address, okay, 200. So this instruction locates the data, okay, that is stored at location 200, that is 20, and move that to accumulator. Okay, so now this case 200 is the effective address, means X is the effective address. Okay, that specifies the actual address of the operand. If you move to that particular location, you will find the operand, okay, that is stored in memory, that is 20. Okay, so that is the actual address of the operand is effective address. Let me check the attendance once. Yes. The next addressing mode is direct or absolute address mode. Okay, it is called direct or absolute addressing mode. Here, the address field of the instruction contains the effective address of the operand. Okay, so in the address field, you will find the effective address. Here, the same example. Okay, what I gave here, load X at location X. Okay, we find the operand. So this type of addressing mode is called direct or absolute addressing mode. Here only one reference to memory is required. Okay, if we take another example, move R1 comma X. Okay, so this case the instruction is to move the content of memory location X to register R1, correct? So here if we find this location, okay, in this particular location in memory we find the operand. Okay, in this case it is 20. So value 20 is moved in register R1. Okay, so this here it is direct. The address is the memory location X is given. In that location we have the operand. So this type of addressing is called direct addressing. Okay, there is no other computation needed to find the address, find the effective address. Okay, X is the effective address here. So we need only one reference. Okay, once you locate X in memory, the operand is available here. So only one reference to memory is required to fetch the operand. And the other type of addressing mode. Okay, these are the two actually major different types, direct and indirect addressing mode. Direct addressing mode, you will have the operand, okay, in the location specified. Indirect addressing mode, this address field, okay, in this mode, the address field of the instruction specifies the address of the memory location that contains the effective address of the operand. Okay, address field will not specify the location of the operand. The address field of the instruction specifies the address of the memory location that contains the effective address of the operand. Okay, so here how many references to memory are needed? One reference to find the effective address and the other reference to find the operand, locate the operand. The address field given in the instruction, if I write the instruction move R1 comma X, in this place we will not have the operand. Okay, in memory location X, I'll give you an example in the next slide. Okay, X will not have the operand, it will only have the effective address of the operand. So we need a memory access to locate the effective address and another access memory reference to using that effective address to locate the operand. Okay, second memory reference. So we need two references to memory are required. So it is quite time taking when we compare it with the direct addressing mode. Okay, and the other addressing modes we have discussed, it is most time taking. And here in the indirect addressing mode, when the effective address is stored in memory, we call it as memory indirect addressing mode. Okay, and when the effective address is stored in the register, we call it as register indirect mode. Okay, if you here register indirect mode is, in this mode the instruction specifies a register in the CPU whose contents give the address of the operand in the memory. Okay, the effective address is stored in the register here. Okay, the two indirect addressing modes are, one is memory indirect addressing mode and register indirect addressing mode. In this memory indirect addressing mode, the effective address is stored in memory. Okay, and in register indirect addressing mode, the effective address is stored in the register, okay, in the CPU. So here is an example for indirect addressing mode. See the instruction, the first instruction, add R1 comma R0. Okay, what is R1 here? R1 is a register, general purpose register, and R0 is a general purpose register. And R0 is a direct address and R1 is indirect address. Okay, it is indirect address here. to differentiate this from the other direct address, we enclose it within brackets. Okay, so here R1 is indirect. So what is R1 here? If you locate the register R1, okay, if you locate this particular register R1, R1 will not have the data. Okay, what is there in R1? It is B. What is B? B is again the address of the operand in memory. Okay, at this particular location B, we have operand stored in memory. Okay, so here what type of addressing is this? It is register, because the effective address is, what is the effective address in this case? It is B, right? Because at this particular location B, we find the operand. Okay, B is the effective address. We don't have the effective address in the instruction. Okay, in the instruction we have R1. R1 is the register that contains the effective address. So this is register indirect mode. Okay, and for memory, here is an example for memory indirect addressing mode. If we see the instruction add A comma R0. Okay, what is R0? Is a general purpose register and it is the direct address. And A is indirect address here. Okay, it is given within brackets. So here we first locate this address A. So in memory at this location A, what we have is B. Okay, this is not the operand. This is again the location of the operand. Okay, in at this location we find the operand. Okay, so here as the effective address is found in memory, okay, we call it as memory indirect addressing mode. Okay, in memory indirect addressing mode, we find the effective address in the memory, okay, in the given location. And register indirect addressing mode, we find the effective address in the given register. So that's about indirect addressing mode. We learned about direct addressing and indirect addressing. And another addressing mode, yeah, to discuss here is auto increment or auto decrement mode. Okay, in this mode, the address will get automatically incremented or automatically decremented depending upon the requirement. Okay, so this addressing mode is a special case of register indirect addressing mode. We just discussed the register indirect addressing mode. This is a special case of register indirect addressing mode, where effective address of the operand equal to is the content of the register. Correct? That is what we saw here. Register indirect mode is the effective address of the operand is the content of the register. Here effective address is B. Okay, so it is a special case where increment and decrement is done. After accessing the operand, the content of the register is automatically incremented or decremented. See, it is used to refer to a table of data in memory. Okay, if we have a table of data, okay, we have here, let's extend this part and say at location B, we have an operand and it's a table of, we have a table of data here. Okay, at location C, we have this location C is identified as memory location 2000. Okay, and at location 2001. Okay, this addressing again depends on the number of bytes in each word. Some memory are byte addressed memory and some are word addressed. Let's say if it is word addressed, so the next word will have the next address 2000 and the next word will have the next address 2001 and next word will have the address 2002. Okay, here we have a table of data. The first operand 1 and operand 2, we have operand 3, operand 4, okay, at location 2003. These need to be continuously accessed one after the other. So in this case, what happened? We have the indirect address, right? We use the indirect register addressing mode, okay? Here we are discussing about the indirect register addressing mode. And we have the effective address in the register. And Okay, so one reference to memory is needed from to find the operand, first operand. Okay, so this B at location B, we find the operand, and it is the address is automatically incremented. So automatically, when it is incremented, we get the next operand at location 2001, and again it is incremented. Okay, so we get the next operand 3 at location 2002. This way, okay, the operands are accessed. When the operands are stored in memory in the form of a table. Okay, it is required when we have a table of data in memory and we need to access that data. So the address field of the instruction is used by the control unit in the CPU to obtain the operands from memory. But how many reference to memory is required to fetch the operand? We need to locate the first operand. After that, we don't need more memory reference, correct? Okay, one reference is needed to fetch the operand. One reference is needed to locate the first operand. Okay, the address is incremented to locate the other operands. So that's about auto increment and auto decrement mode. Okay, these are the different addressing modes, and we have other addressing modes, relative addressing modes and index and base register addressing mode. Okay, we will discuss all those with an example, okay, in the next class. Is this clear? The addressing modes we have discussed in this class. We have discussed about implied mode, where no address is needed. Immediate mode, where no address is needed, directly the operand is given. And register mode, okay, we need to give the address here, but the address is the register address. When the operand is stored in registers, okay, we call it as register mode because the address would be the registers. Okay, and direct or absolute addressing mode and indirect mode. In direct mode, okay, the address given in the instruction contains the operand. Okay, the location that is given in the instruction will contain the operand. Directly, the operand can be located at the given position, okay, given address. But in indirect addressing mode, we cannot locate the operand in the given address. We need to find the effective address, correct? The address given in the instruction will contain the effective address of the operand. So we need two memory access here. Okay, we need first reference to memory is to locate the effective address, and the next reference to locate the operand at that address. And here, when the effective address is stored in register, we call it as register indirect mode. And when the effective address is stored in memory location, we call it as memory indirect mode. Okay, we have seen the examples here. Okay, I'll stop here and we'll continue it in the next class.